Good evening.
Good evening.
Should we just talk?
Yeah, let's just talk. I don't think anyone's here yet, so let's just talk.
There's a couple, mate. There's a couple.
There's people here. If you're here, make yourself known. Shout yourself out.
Well, the chat doesn't come up on the screen in this. I can put it up, but just stop people because I'm on. Everyone it prevents people just giving me abuse. Public enemy number one. If you are, don't watch this. All right, just go away.
Britball's most wanted.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So it occurred to me, right? So first of all, obviously, me and Kwame, I'm not supposed to be on these, but I'm here this week again because Alfie isn't available. Ewan has literally had his knee op done, serious knee op today. So, you know, all best wishes to Ewan and wish him a fast recovery. So he'll be on, I don't know when, at some point, somehow. Kwame's just getting a pizza. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, pizza.
Something like that.
As you can see from the pizza cutter, I mean,
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Be a pizza. I don't know what else it could possibly be.
Look, Ewan's here. Ewan is here.
And Matteo. Matteo's here as well.
It's just people from Sport Tank that's watching. We may as well just had a Teams meeting.
At this point, it's just a video call, isn't it?
Ewan, glad to see you're in the land of the living. Well, he may not be. He still may be high as a kite from all the drugs, man. They pump you full of drugs.
They pump you for so much shit.
He's had a ACL. I think it's just it might be meniscus as well. I can't remember. But serious knee op. I've had the same, and it's rough going. But yeah. Anyway, so yeah, Ewan and Alfie and Kwame. The three of them are going to be the normal hosts when we actually hit normality, which we haven't done yet, which is really annoying for me. No, I don't mind. Probably annoying for everyone else. Yeah, Ewan just said he can't feel a thing. He's just woke up. Mate, I remember. So I can remember when I had my knee done. I didn't look into it or know much about it. Right? I don't know if you've had any serious surgery, Kwame, but
nah, I've actually not. No, I think the worst I've done is I sprained my MCL. I took a helmet to the knee whilst I was playing.
Yeah.
From our own teammate, funny enough. And
yeah, 25
sprained ankle was the worst I've done.
25 are the worst injuries, mate.
I've never had a broken, touch wood.
Yeah, no. Well, so I had a bad knee. My knee bent backwards, and I ended up having I had like 4 injuries on it, but they thought they'd have to do 2 surgeries. They managed to sort it all out in one. Good. Anyway, I wake up from the surgery. It was a keyhole surgery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't like cut my leg open. They just did it all through a couple little holes and one slide. And yeah, I woke up and so because of the trauma, even though you're under anesthetic, because of the heavy trauma that your knee goes through, and Ewan will have to confirm if he's had this, but what can happen and what happened to me is your brain stops sending and receiving signals to and from the knee. It's like because it's like a defense mechanism, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I woke up and I couldn't move my knee. I couldn't. It's like I didn't have one, or feet, or toes. There was just
way.
Dead leg. My hip I could move, but I couldn't do anything else.
The whole thing.
And then it didn't take long though. It's like first my toes, then my foot. The knee was the last thing I was able to move. It was like literally within like a couple of hours of waking up. But yeah. I was like, what the fuck? Like I didn't know what to expect. I thought they'd like done nerve damage or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, I had like I don't know what they call it, but my whole leg was just dead, and it was a horrific feeling. Anyway, so we only had. I realised, Quams, the last show we did, or the first show last week, we didn't actually do predictions on the games, did we? We just did leagues.
Yeah, I don't think we did. Well, I mean, if you would have asked me what my prediction for the Burners game was, I mean, it kind of went along that way.
Yeah.
The other game, as per se, again, I don't really know much about the teams up north, but I think in my mind I was thinking that both the home teams would win. So when I saw the final score, I was a bit like, interesting. Maybe there's a lot more I don't know about that division than I initially thought.
So I, and obviously it's easy to say this in hindsight, right? Oh look, so Ewan had it. Same feeling. Looking forward to this week's Uniball. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah, what a time to have a knee op. Like Ewan's got like NFL and Uniball to look forward to while he's rehabbing his knee.
Crazy.
Anyway, so and again, I know it's easy to sort of say this now, but first of all, I wasn't sure about the Burners Destroyers game. Right, I saw that as could have gone either way. Right now, I know you're going to hate me for saying that, but that's how I felt going into it. But I did think the Raiders would beat the Griffins.
Okay.
So, but yeah, and the reason for the Burners one is that they've just been promoted, and you just don't know, right? Like, and
Yeah.
Portsmouth, we've live streamed Portsmouth. They're solid. They're a good side, right? Like they're no pushovers.
I remember their game that we did against, I think it was Nottingham Trent, and they were all over Nottingham Trent. It just seemed to me like, don't get me wrong, like their run game from their number 10 that they had was really the difference between the two teams. But at the same time, like they just had so many different options that they could have gone to, and even still, it just seemed like the run game just stood out so much more of a level than anyone else, than the other team at the time. They just dominated them, and obviously we knew they'd be all right in the Prem from that, but like it just seems to me like the Burners have come out of the gates, and I don't know if the other teams really expected it, but they definitely have laid the foundations after that first game, at least for a good season. I could see them winning at least 6 or 7 games.
Well, they're setting a high bar. I mean, beating Portsmouth. Obviously, when I was looking at the fixture, this is me talking about it prior. Like, I know it's a bit late now, prior to knowing the game and how it went. You're like, oh well, Brunel have got home field advantage, and that's a real advantage for them because of that boggy ground. And when Portsmouth play on a 4G, quite a nice. Is it a 4G? It might be a 3G. I think it's a 4G.
One or the other is tough.
But it's a turf. And there's a massive difference between playing on a boggy ground and turf, right? It's a different game. But I felt like there were a couple of circumstances that actually leaned towards Brunel. But and then obviously you've got the new signings, and if you look at the new signings, you're like, well, Brunel looks strong. I don't know how many new signings Portsmouth had. I don't think they were posting about them. I just don't know much about it.
That's another thing that makes it difficult at Uniball, because a lot of teams still to this day they don't really post about their signings and their off-season stuff. A lot of teams will still post, here's maybe 1 or 2 things that we're getting up to in the off season. Here's our season schedule. Oh, it's game day today. But you see the difference with some teams. They post everything. Stories throughout the game. They post the full-time score, win or lose. And
I love.
That's a big one,
man. Obviously, I'm a media guy. I love those teams. But I also, as a player, I do get the whole like, oh, bollocks. I'm not going to. We're not going to do play. We're
not posting because we lost
anymore, man. We're losing too much. But Ewan just popped up and said, and I think I'm saying this name correctly. Nebechi, the running back, is their key player, and he feels that if you stop him, you stop Portsmouth.
I very much saw that in the game against Nottingham Trent. I think it was the playoffs last year. It was that we did.
Yeah.
It was the playoff game. I very much saw that he was by far and away their strongest player. And in the Burners game, obviously, I saw that on stream. I wasn't able to make it down in the end, but I had to watch it on the stream. And I definitely saw.
I can't remember names, but I can remember the Portsmouth having a really good defense and me getting really like their D line had a huge D lineman, one huge guy, and then there was this.
I remember him.
DB, I think he wears number 4. But I remember he got ejected in the game that we were live streaming, but he actually got MVP as well. He was amazing.
Yes. His
All over the field.
His name's left my head, but
Yeah,
I remember
I can't remember him, but
the D line when you're talking about Akram Adam, because
Akram
he went to the ELF for a bit, didn't he?
I don't know.
I heard he got
He's a
signed by
monster,
someone.
man.
He got signed by someone. I want to say it was the Enthroners, but again, someone's gonna have to quote me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong, even.
Yeah.
So don't quote me on exactly who it was, but he definitely got signed by someone because he was a monster. I remember seeing his name obviously on the roster sheet. And I remember that time when he tackled that guy with literally one arm. Like he was getting blocked by someone and put his forearm out and tackled a guy just from that. That was fucking ridiculous when I saw that. I was like, there's no way.
I mean, you know, if you're an offensive coordinator, you cannot scheme that. You've got to fit up on a man. You know, not even in a gap. You fitted him. You man's on him, and he just he just stretches out, and he's big enough to make the tackle.
It's quite literally. It's like
ridiculous.
Who's the guy who played for Florida last year who got signed by the Bucks? Then he got cut. He got made to walk laps of the pitch
Oh, the
because he
big
was
dude.
so
Yeah,
big.
I saw a lot of posts about him. He had to lose weight. He's on their practice squad now.
Yeah, I mean, there's something Desmond Watson or something like that might be his name, but he's the sort of guy that I'm thinking of. Obviously, he's not on that size level, but like I've seen guys in college running, taking the handoff, turning around when they see him, and literally turning around and going the other side because they're just like, nah, fuck that, I'm not running into him. There's no way you're getting past.
No, I know. Yeah, imagine being the well, not just the running back, but the guy blocking him, thinking, yeah, I got this. And then you're like, oh, he's made the tackle. Like, just you know what I mean? You got him in, you got your elbows in, you stood him up, sort of thing. You're like, yeah, I've got him.
If I'm the old lineman or the running back in pass pro, running up, slipping 20 pounds into his pocket, just keep quiet. That's all I can do because you can't stop a man that's built like that. You can't stop him. So, but again, somehow the 5 offensive linemen you got the 4, and then you've got that one that's just like an absolute tower. And then I don't think, I might be wrong, but I don't remember Portsmouth really getting to the quarterback the other day. I don't remember any.
I mean, I know you watched because you were supposed to live commentate, weren't you? But you end up not doing that. But yeah, I didn't watch the game. I watched bits of it. I kept getting messages from people telling me that it was lagging and that there was a lot of like negative comments in the chat about it. But I don't know. I'm not gonna. I was saying to people like those things happen, and especially when you go to a new venue, like they'll get it all sorted, man. It will be slick. They got a really good their on-screen graphics are good. I think they're brave putting the time in the corner. I wouldn't do that, but they're brave doing a game clock, the timeouts, the down and distance, all that stuff requires an extra man to do, right? So they must have
an extra body. Yeah, they've definitely got a lot of people who are into tech that are involved in that, and it's really good on that. It's really good because again, these are things that the average American football fan will know where they are on the field and stuff. But the average viewer who's watching maybe their son or cousin or friend play, who doesn't always understand the sport, that's going to help them a lot, and that's going to definitely keep a lot of people watching. Because I've seen streams where there's no commentator, no graphics, nothing on the screen. You're lucky to get a score or a time check in terms of which quarter you're in. And
let's not forget, Tebbs is one of probably the best commentator in the country, right? He's a professional commentator. The guy gets paid to do ELF games. The guy, you can watch a game on DAZN, and you'll hear his voice. Like
you'll hear his voice, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it
was surreal. The first ELF highlight game that I watched and I heard his voice, it was like, wait a second, because I remember he got the gig, and then I forgot. So I tuned into a game and I was like, wait a second, what's going on? Why can I hear text? And then I was like, oh yeah, shit. So and then obviously he got what was it? Talia Tunga Vailoa, Tua's brother, when he came into the league, he got to do
And he's a big man, isn't he?
Yeah, so that was massive.
Yeah, so, yeah, I remember he commentated that Tua's brother first pass, which was an interception, pick six,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
that actually went around the world. Like that was
He went
big
around the
news.
world because obviously everyone knows Tua in the league, and it's like Tua's brother in this European league that a lot of Americans don't know about, and it's like,
Yeah, but they will
you know.
they absolutely watch that, right? Like,
Hmm.
so
And
yeah. I mean, there's
even if people don't know who he is, they recognize his voice now because from that video that went
yeah,
viral all over the world. You know,
yeah,
if you now watch a game, if you now watch a Britball game, a Uniball game, an ELF game, or it might be EFA next season or
yeah,
wherever it is, and you hear that
yeah.
voice, you're like, oh, I remember that guy.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know.
Yeah, man, he's doing so well, and it'll just continue to do well,
Hmm.
man. He's got the right attitude, and but he's also passionate and decent at it and cares a lot,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. And so like, yeah, like the comments about like, oh, it's lagging and stuff. I'm like, yeah, well, I did actually watch it for a couple of minutes, like a couple times for a couple of minutes. But what I found with the lagging, right? So there's different ways of. I know this is going to sound really technical and geeky, right? But there's different types of lag. So there's lag where you miss out, right? So like if it lags, if there's lag, the coverage still goes on, and then it will just pick up wherever live the connection reconnects, right?
Yeah, so it's
Then
like kind
there's
of
lag, which
jumping
is
from.
yeah, it will jump, right? But then there's lag, which essentially is like pause. So it will pause what's going on live, and then so you effectively don't miss anything. Well, Sport Tank's live streams, ours are the former. So
Hmm.
if I'd say when ours lag, because it's inevitable that we will get lag at some point. You can't control. Mate, I've got a £2,500 satellite dish that I pay £100 a month service fee for out of my own pocket, and it still fucks up, right?
Hmm.
So like, I mean, other than like, I don't know, finding some sort of hardwire. Well, you guys even know, watching at home, you can watch something stream and it can lag, right? So there's at any time these things can break. Let alone you're trying to make this technology work in the middle of a field and it's raining and it's cloudy. It's difficult, right?
Hmm.
um and the odds are against you, right? So like, but you learn from these things, you figure out a new way of doing them, and you go again, right? Like, so like, I don't know what problems they were having that were causing this. And again, it was like more of a pause than a true lag. It was like a buffering thing rather than a lag
Yeah,
catch up.
but you would still see everything. It's just that you would
You
be
didn't miss
behind as
anything. It
opposed
was
to
just
being
frustrating.
live but
You didn't
missing
even
stuff.
miss what he was saying because it would pause what was being said, and then it carried on. So like, I mean, if I had a choice and I'm watching, either, I would much rather do the one that was sort of pause and then play rather than missing everything, right? So yeah,
Hmm.
I like, I, there's only two outlets that do free live streaming for British American football. We're one, and Depth Chart's the other now, right? And that is nothing but good for British American football. And people just need to be a little bit more patient and hold back on those little stinging comments that they make. In my opinion,
Hmm.
I don't want to go on a rant or anything, but like, yeah, I'm not a fan of like knocking someone for or not someone or some group or whatever, a company, for doing something like just that's supposed to be just pure positivity for the sport, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
things will
and
get better. Things always get better.
of course they will. So
You
yeah,
know,
so like, yeah, I'm yeah, I think someone messaged me saying that the live stream ended early. I don't know if it did or not.
it was
I think the
probably
live
about a
stream,
minute or so early. It was garbage time because
yeah, the game was
well,
already concluded. Sort of thing.
Portsmouth scored in garbage time, and it wasn't on the stream, so
Ah,
it was
but like,
it was nothing. I don't
you
think
know,
anything significant was
and,
missed. It was late in the fourth quarter, and these things
well, and,
happen.
and I
I'm
can
sure it
tell you
happened to
from
us before as
running
well.
these things myself, I get fucking livid and so upset when it doesn't work, right? Like, it
Hmm.
won't be lost on Tebs and the rest of the guys at Depth Chart. They will know what they will have picked up on stuff that people wouldn't have even commented on, right? Like your own standards and your own vision for what you're trying to do are much greater than anyone else that's watching can think of, right? And
Yeah.
so, like,
Most of the time
so I
when there's
just
an issue, you tend to notice it before other people are commenting it as well.
oh yeah.
Apart from
And then the
certain
comment,
things, like,
you just hope the comments don't start coming in, and then they do, and you're like, fuck, you just ignore it,
it's like it could be something that's already sorted, but because there's about a 5-10 second lag or
Yeah.
whatever, it's like people are starting to comment, and it's like,
Yeah.
guys, we've solved the problem already. Just wait until your stream catches up,
Yeah.
and you'll notice,
But yeah, you know, more organizations doing free live streaming for British American football teams is fucking brilliant, right?
Mhm.
And I hope more, I hope more people try and do it. I hope more media outlets exist, like pop up, and or even just teams doing it themselves, because it's the best way of growing the sport, and it's also the best way of attracting money into the sport as well.
I will say, particularly in the north, because obviously us and Deptford, obviously we're all based down south, right?
Yeah, well, we tried to set up a Midlands team. So we've
Yeah,
got Alfie in Birmingham, and then we had Colin in Birmingham as well.
yeah,
And we contacted 5 Uniball, but because of the boycott thing, we contacted 5 teams. 2 of them got back to us, said, "Yeah, we'd love you to live stream our games." The other 3 didn't, and there wasn't enough. So we now when we do the live streams, we got to think about who the teams are playing, because we don't
yeah.
want to play a team that have boycott. We can't. Not we don't. We just don't want to call. Like, I'm in a place now where I'm just like, I don't want to cause any fuss.
They'll
Like,
open a can of worms because
if they said they boycott us, then cool. Like, we'll speak to you when you're ready. I don't want to do stuff like live streaming a game or tagging them and stuff. We'll post about them, like their scores, but we just don't want to be seen as antagonistic. So that then shortens the
number of
the
teams,
games
yeah,
that we can do. And between those 2 teams, it just wasn't worth setting up extending the equipment up there. So I'm looking into doing like lacrosse or rugby, and like giving the kit to a rugby or a lacrosse team local to me, teaching them how to do it because they do like a winter league.
yeah.
And then in the summer getting it back for adult football, and then trying again next year with Uniball and seeing how that goes. Because
I'd
I don't
love
want
to go for that, to be
to
fair.
keep sitting around. Like, there's no point, So
But
yeah.
even if it wasn't like us per se, just anyone, because I know I've obviously heard of a few other Britball and Uniball outlets popping up that do media and stuff. It'd be nice if maybe they could start doing streams, and obviously some unis could do their own streams as well. Because at the end of the day, like you said, it's more content as good content. You're
Well, and just on that, anyone out there, if you are interested in getting into this and you want to know more about it, contact me. Contact Sport Tank. I'm happy to tell you all of the equipment, everything that we've got, everything that we've done, everything that we've learned. I helped like SGS College. We're still doing stuff with SGS College, but help them set theirs up and get theirs running. But I don't mind doing that with any club. For me, like, and I think I said this on live stream before. If every single club live streamed their own game and it meant Sport Tank couldn't, cool. We will find something else to do. Like, it's not like we're not. I don't see it as us doing ourselves out of something. I see it as us just leading the way in showing people the art of the possible.
essentially, if that happens, it's a case of our work here is done.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah,
want people
yeah.
to see
And
more
I'll move on to
American
stats.
football stuff.
I'll move on to whatever. Like, we'll just move on to something else. It doesn't matter. We just want to like add value to the sport while we're trying to grow as an outlet, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, but yeah, well, whatever. I see Gary said you can come over to UAE, Steve. Cheers, Gary. If it wasn't 7 hours away or whatever, I would.
Come over to the UAE.
UEA, sorry.
Oh, UEA. I thought you said UAE. I was thinking
I
like
did.
they got a league in like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, like.
Yeah. The Abu Dhabi Raiders
So I
against the
got out there,
Dubai Dolphins.
No
But
taxi.
anyway, UEA is just miles away from me. I'm in Bracknell. That's like
UEA is so far away.
it's too far. It's obnoxiously far away for me. But yeah,
I wouldn't mind,
so we're not trying to set up a
sort
team
my
in the
travel,
Midlands.
to sort me out with a flight out there. I'd go out there and commentate on the game, but
Yeah.
getting there, that's the problem. You got to get me there, and I can do it. Put me up in a nice little hotel.
You never know, mate. Saudi or somewhere in the Middle East might decide they want to create an American football league.
Saudi Sport Tank.
Yeah.
Saudi Tank. Nah, that would be jokes. That I'd be
Gary,
be like us
my excuses.
international.
I'm allowed out. I want to be out of the house long. I just don't want to travel that far. It's not for me. But yeah, so we're trying to set up a Midlands team. We failed, I suppose, for the Uniball. We'll try again in the summer for senior ball. I think that's going to be fine. We don't really have many teams at senior ball level that have joined into this boycott thing. So yeah, we'll deal with it. And I like to think that this time next year, the boycott thing will be a thing of the past for 80-90% of the teams that took part in it. You know, they would have gotten past it or whatever, and we'll be okay again. But we'll see.
My thing is with a boycott, regardless of what that boycott is, any boycott you look at in history, the whole purpose of a boycott is to incite change.
Yes.
So if you raise a boycott and everyone boycotts whatever product it is, whether that's, a bus, a product, a country, whatever it is, right? If that thing that you're boycotting then changes to how you want it to change or makes improvements based on your recommendations, does that then mean that the job of the boycott is done, essentially?
It depends. Yeah,
You wouldn't need to continue
yeah,
boycotting.
I believe so. But then I also believe that as part of a boycott, there should be open dialogue, and there's been none. No one's ever messaged me about the boycott before it. I found out what, like everyone else did, on with messages and posts online. I've tried to engage with every single club and coach that signed the open letter or did a boycott post. No one messages me. No one sent emails. You know all this. I did an open meeting where people could come and speak to me. No one chose to come. So like I can't. For me, it's not even a boycott, but that's what I'm calling it because that's what they've called it. But that's not a boycott because there is no discussion. There is nothing to, like you said. There's no like, oh, here are demands, and then the other side saying, oh, well, we'll meet them to this level, and there's no debate or back and forth. It's literally like, oh, it's a cancel, right? It's a cancel culture, and so the way that I see it is that the hardcore of those involved will stay. Will not move their position. A lot of them have just been opportunists that waited for the right time to pile in, and did so, and whatever. Fucking great, good for you. And then the others, I think they want more. They just want to see things get better for a long period of time, so a year,
Yeah.
6 months, or whatever. And I
But
wish they'd be a little bit more open about
solving it just
speaking to
yet.
me
They're sort
about
of
it.
holding out for a bit longer, see if
Yeah,
it's just
and I don't like whatever. Like I'll speak to them when they're ready to speak to me, and I'll tell them what I think, and yeah. For me, it's not. It really. It doesn't. It's not a boycott. It's a cancel, because they're because of the lack of engagement. But when they're ready to engage, I will, and we'll deal with it then.
the party of the people that are saying that they want to see sustained change or improvement. Out of context, or when it comes to sort of anything, I understand that because, like, from the context of people who, or from the perspective of people who apologize or give an apology where it's not as sincere, or they sort of just want people to forgive them.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, look at me, here's my apology, here's this, here's that.
Yeah, doing it because it's the right thing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden it goes quiet. Like, so you see it consistently or frequently with big companies, right?
Yeah.
They'll make a decision without consulting people, or like without caring how their fans or whatever it is think, right? And until all of a sudden the decision's made, and then all of a sudden there's all this uproar online, and now it's like, okay, let's go back on ourselves. But the only reason why they've done it is because they've been caught, and now they're going back because they're trying to do damage limitation.
Yes.
And I think, looking at that, a lot of those people are basically seeing that and waiting out to see, essentially, are we doing that?
Yeah, and that's fine. Like,
it's absolutely valid.
That's what I mean. Like, it makes sense. Like, it's sort of I've always said, and I maintain that I think that the small community that is British American football is a good community, like with a good heart. And I've seen that time and time again for different fundraisers we've done or got involved with. Just like people want the right thing to happen with the sport, and they're upset, and and what I feel like there's a lot of misinformation out there, but they are upset about something, and I wish they'd talk to me about it because they'd realise it's probably not as bad as what they think. But at the same time, like I understand that mindset. Like, you know, they want to see, you know, have things changed? Are things going in the right direction? All of that sort of stuff. Burners. I seeing just loads of other people messaging. Yeah, let's just have a quick look. Yeah, Russ has just mentioned about local colleges and universities using coverage of games as part of their course. Yeah, well, that's what they do at SGS, and that's what I was doing. I wasn't working with American football players, although there was a couple that did the media course. I was working with the media students, showing them how to do American football coverage. So camera angles and graphics and all that sort of stuff. It wasn't just about, you know, filming the game. It was about their education and their experience and using our equipment, which is not, it's non-studio quality, right? They're used to having all the bells and whistles in a green room and all this stuff.
Yeah,
we've got a satellite dish, a camera, and a tablet, and just making it all work. And it's a little bit spit and sawdust. So that was what we were doing. But yeah, that's what I'm going to encourage. So there's a local rugby team to me that I'm speaking to, and if I get their buy-in and get people helping out with, you know, using the equipment and them looking after it, I want to approach the local college and get them to support the rugby club with the equipment as well. I think it's a great idea, Russ. I'm just seeing, Gary's just saying the same. Yeah, I think it should be something that's just discussed and wider. And I'm happy to be, you know, help out with that, as I'm sure Tebs would be as well if people don't want to speak to a boycotted, horrific person. Anyway, let's get back to the sport or the Uniball stuff. So Kwame, obviously we that's what we started talking about, was the live stream. You watched the live stream. What's your take from it? Like, what did you make of both teams? I know you obviously stood there with a Brunel Burners hoodie on, so expecting an element.
To bring my bias a little bit. I just have to, but I just have to let it be known to the people. Those are my old boys. I'm always going to support them, but
yeah,
I'm going to try and be as like unbiased as possible with this little review. I don't know how long that's going to last, but I'll try my best. So to start the game, I think I tuned in, and I'm pretty sure I tuned in from the very start. Pretty much, yes, because I saw the first drive and it ended in the touchdown. I think from my experience playing for the Burners, like there weren't a lot of times where we scored on the first drive. So to see the Burners obviously get the score up and everything, yeah, it's cool. It's like great. It'd be great for their confidence and everything. First game of the season, first drive, first score. And then from then, it just seemed like the Burners were just on top. You know, the first drive that the Destroyers had, almost called them Dreadnoughts. The first drive that the Destroyers had ended in a pick, and from then it was just like, well, the momentum's firmly with the Burners, you know, and they just didn't let up. You know, there was a good run game. Like the first few runs, every single one pretty much was going for a first down. Again, the passing game was opening up. The tackles were flying everywhere. Defensive backs were blanket coverage. Defensive line difficult to stop. You know, it just seemed like very quickly it started off as what could have been a relatively even game, and I don't know if it's more so the Portsmouth guys' heads dropped, because I mean it was about 20 at the half. I think it was 20-0 at the half, but yeah, it really just seemed to me like the Burners just had Portsmouth number from the start to the finish.
yeah.
And you know, like on a better day, maybe Portsmouth would have put up more of a fight, but I'm not sure if it's just down to first game of the season. Maybe they just got caught out and weren't expecting Brunel to be as good as they were. I'll have to see sort of how they bounce back against Cardiff, really. But I'm expecting after that, Cardiff to look at it and be pretty confident, because after seeing someone put a score up on another team like that, you're thinking, well, you know, they're going to probably be hoping that the Portsmouth got worse than Brunel are just that good, you know. Because they'll look at Portsmouth and be like, they're beatable, you know, they've just got beaten by goodness knows how many points. We can probably shock them as well. sort of kick them while they're down sort of vibe. But yeah, as Russ said as well, that was one thing that a lot of people were saying about the stream is that there was music playing. I don't know.
Said that, yeah,
I've never heard it before, but originally I thought that Portsmouth, because Bruno had the ball and it was like third down when it started. So originally I was thinking, what the hell, have Portsmouth brought drums to the game or something? And then it carried on playing. Then it was like trumpets and everything, and then I was like, wait, what's going on? Like, have I left another tab open or something?
Yeah.
And then I realized, like, oh wait, it's from the game. Like, what's going? Because other people were saying the same thing. It was like, and then it would turn off, and then it would turn back on, and then it would keep restarting. And but I think they figured out after a while, because I don't know if they could hear that it was on, so they didn't realize that's like.
Well, and that's what that third person, fourth person. If you've got two commentators, one camera person, then you've got a person that's managing the like the first downs and all that sort of stuff, the graphics. That person should also be listening to the audio to make sure it's all coming through okay. But it could be anything. It could be they forgot a headset or whatever. Like it'll just didn't think to do it or whatever. Like it's so easy to sort of have little mistakes like that when you first start off, but you can guarantee they won't do it again. But yeah, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it was nothing. It was nothing that was like, oh, this is a deal breaker. I'm never going to watch their streams again. Like, I don't think anyone would ever have that opinion unless they said something ridiculously outrageous.
Yeah. People are quite tolerant.
Technical difficulties are just normal; they happen and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I'm saying. I think from some of the comments, I didn't like I said, I don't think I saw all the comments. I just saw a couple, and I just thought, just give them a break. They're doing their best. They'll be fully aware of what's going wrong, and they'll be scrambling around to fix it. So don't worry. But anyway, right, I'm going to share my screen, Kwame. We've got the games for next week. See if it comes up. Yeah. Let's get us on it as well.
God, this pizza is so delicious. Oh my days.
There we go. That's probably a little bit nicer. Right. So this is our Sport Tank website for those of you that are interested. Much better experience than Bucks Play. Anyway, so this weekend we've got the Bullets versus Leeds Beckett. Sorry, that says Carnegie. I need to get that fixed. I spoke to our web guy today. They're now Leeds Beckett University. Who you got? What are your thoughts on this one?
I'd say Bullets in 4. Clean sweep.
Okay.
I know that obviously Beckett have improved over last season, or at least from what I've heard. But
wow, man, that new QB looks good. Like they look good. The couple of their players they signed. I think it's going to be a Bullets win, but I don't know. I couldn't guess
I don't know how close. Yeah. Again, it's the first game of the season for Bullets. They'll have new players as well. I think the first game of the season. Do you know what? I think it'll be tight because it's first game of the season. If you give me if this was week 5 or week 6, then it's like, okay, like we'd sort of know a bit more about them. But I feel like UE, based on last season as well, because I think they lost their first game last season against Nottingham, and then they went on to win everything else. So
something like that. Yeah, I think
some of it will be based on that. And I think if this season is like that season, they might take a minute to get rolling, especially with all the new signings.
Yeah, I don't know. I think well, for me, I
might
think
be completely wrong.
So I think it's a Bullets win, but I think the question is it walkover? Not walkover. Sorry, running clock scoreline. Is it over 35 point differential? I don't think it is.
See, the thing is, 35. Based on the past few years, 35 is really not a lot for UE to score.
Right. Yeah.
So I feel like based on that, pretty much on the fact that I'd say 90% of their games over the past 4 years have gone to a running clock.
Yeah, something like that. I'd say even more than 90%.
It's probably likely that there will be a running clock, but based on how you say that Leeds Beckett have improved so much, I think we should be asking how soon will the running clock come in?
Okay. Well, the minimum is the start of the third quarter, isn't it? That's like the fastest it can come in.
I feel like if it comes in, it'll be fourth quarter rather than third quarter.
Oh, okay.
Based on like like every year UE will get stronger. That's no brainer. But also I feel like every year every other team gets that little bit closer to UE.
Yeah, you know
Because
what? They're starting to adopt the format that UE are using and have used to great success up until in recent history, that where they're bringing in these athletes from overseas
yeah,
that are well tenured and know how to play the sport.
I
Um,
think it's a case of if you can't beat them, join them. And not in the sense of saying, if you can't beat UE, then join UE. But if you can't beat them,
that system, yeah.
yeah, replicate the system, join them in what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's exciting. I quite like it. I know people say, "Oh, the whole built versus bought thing," but it's fair game. And if the national prem, which is, I assume that's the whole point of it, it becomes that beacon of that activity. That's where you see these just great athletes playing American football in the UK. I'm like,
Yeah,
cool.
it will make the whole again. It's the whole argument of some people saying it's not fair on other teams. I disagree. I think it's bullshit when people say it's not fair. If the best team is too good, that's your problem for not being good enough, right?
Yeah.
The same way we had this issue with the Warriors a few years ago as well. Before the Aztecs got a bit better. After the Blitz had a bit of a, but like other teams getting better is only going to be better for the sport as a whole.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to close the gap gradually until until more games are going to be tighter, and I think that based on that, I think Beckett will.
Oh,
I think they'll compete. I think they'll keep it tight. When I say tight, I mean non-running clock at least. I think they'll keep it tight for 3 quarters.
okay.
I think fourth quarter,
So,
if there's running clock, it'll be fourth quarter.
so what one thing that about it having for me, another argument for having this talent come over and play. One is that it just raises the game anyway, but also answer me this: do you think that Jadrian Clark, right? I think two-time MVP of the ELF, like arguably the best quarterback in Europe. Do you think so? He's now offensive coordinator at UE Bullets this season. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he would be the offensive coordinator at UE this season if he hadn't played for them?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. I don't know.
Gateway. I think we're introducing a lot more people to our culture, to how we play the sport, to what, like, how great it is to come over here and enjoy the sport.
Yeah.
And people are liking it, and they're sticking around, and they're coming back, and that's a great thing. So
I look at it like, what other coaches have we recruited in Uniball that are on that level of multiple MVP or whatever? Like the fact that he's come as a player and then stayed on as a coach, I think is way more likely. Sorry. I think it's way more likely that he comes and stays on as a coach if he's a player to begin with.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the same for Britball. It probably is the same, to be fair. But I think you're probably a bit more likely in Britball of getting a top coach somehow just turn up from America who just happened to move to the UK, just happens to want to get involved in football again, and then decides to join, I don't know, Sandwell Steelers or whoever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's a very good point, to be fair. It's a really good point. I didn't really think of it that way, but it's definitely a gateway into it because more guys are going to see the quality of the sport. Again, like the stream with the other day.
You reckon Adrian will end up playing? I don't think he will. But we'll see. It'd be funny if he does, but
I don't think he will now. Because unless they lose all of their quarterbacks, because they've got a bunch of new guys.
Yeah, they're quite.
And it's not a team that only signs one QB. Like a lot of teams will sign recruits from America and be like, okay, we've got this American quarterback. Yeah, great, but now if he gets injured, who have you got? Because what is the likelihood that you're going to get multiple American guys all come over and say they want to play quarterback, and then all but one of them are willing to sit on the bench until the first guy gets injured?
Yeah,
just doesn't happen.
Yeah. Right. Well, let's move on to the second game. Loughborough versus Gold.
Loughborough versus Gold. I'm gonna say Gold, but I feel like did we predict Loughborough to go down this season, or did we predict someone else? Because it's these four and Durham in the Prem, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we did predict Loughborough to go down.
Ooh.
I think Gold easily win this one.
I think Gold win this one. I don't know how convincingly, in terms of like what the score will be, but I think Gold comfortably win.
Cool. Okay, right. Let's move on to the Prem North. Leeds Griffins and Northumbria Mustangs.
Oh, Leeds Griffins. They lost last week, didn't they?
Mate, I thought you were backing them. Are you backing them?
I was backing them, and they're at home again.
Yeah, they're at home again. But I back Northumbria in this one. I think Northumbria will make light work of that.
I think they will as well, but based on the fact that last week I was pissed off because I backed them and they didn't win, I'm going to back them again just to be controversial. Okay. Because I'm going to back Leeds Griffins until they win. I don't know anyone who plays for them. I've got nothing to do with that.
Cut your hair until they win.
Something like that. I'll be wolfing under this do-rag until they win. Leeds Griffins, whoever their head coach is, if you're watching this, you better win this weekend because I want to get a haircut.
Cool. Okay, let's move on. This game kills me every year. NTU versus Warwick, man. Like, it's like such a good matchup, such a good rivalry, and I can never get it right. I can never call this game.
You know, Dave, last year, was it last year that we did? No, it was. I want to say it was last year. It was the year before.
Yeah, we did it. Warwick were at home, and NTU, and this was at Coventry Butts Park.
It was, yes.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And Warwick were in like one of the teams were in the wrong kit. Like they had the Tamworth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I want to say it's Warwick. They have these, or they had these new jerseys, but the numbers were too small.
That was it. Yeah.
Which is, I find it ridiculous, to be honest. I know Solid Redhawks had the same issue because I've seen some of their.
Oh mate, there's a comical.
It's like superscript.
Yeah.
Which I don't know how it's possible to make that mistake, if you ask me, because like you give the design to the people like who make the shirts. Either you give them the right design and they make it shit, in which case you don't ever go back to them again.
Well, no, in which case they'll give you a free reprint, mate. Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
You've given them the wrong dimensions, in which case it's your fault. It's like people who go to get a tattoo and they've spelt something wrong.
Yeah.
It's like, it's your fucking fault.
But you can't borrow someone else's tattoos like Warwick did with uniform. So go on then. So who are you backing for this game, Qualms?
Oh, it's crazy because I know people that go to Nottingham Trent, but they don't play for the team, so fuck them. I'll go Warwick.
Okay, I'll go NTU.
I'll go Warwick just because.
Oh, this is a big one. This is one we just talked about. Portsmouth at home to Cardiff. Cardiff's a long way. Obviously, Ewan's there. Well, Ewan's not there, but he's not. He's in hospital or he's at home resting now. But he's with Cardiff. So you don't want to upset your mate, do you?
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't. Nah, because I was gonna say Portsmouth. They're gonna be licking their wounds from last week, and they're gonna be on a revenge tour. Like, they will want to do something.
Yeah.
At home against Cardiff. Cardiff had this is Cardiff's first game, whereas Portsmouth already battle scarred for the year, having gone to Site 5. Yeah. After playing Brunel away, as long as they don't have like serious injuries, they're winning, I reckon.
Who? Portsmouth.
I think Portsmouth win as long as they don't have serious injuries from last week.
Ewan's at the game. I'm going Cardiff.
You're going Cardiff?
Which is controversial because I'm from Portsmouth and everyone knows
you're from Portsmouth, like.
But well, we're live streaming the game at Cardiff shortly after, so I don't want to get beat up. Also, Ewan's a new member of the Sport Tank team. It's his club, so I'm backing them. Right, let's move on.
Oh, he's a Cobra.
Scottish 1. Mate, this is where it all comes apart, innit? So
I don't know anyone here.
well, just have a guess based on their lovely logos. So Glasgow Uni versus Heriot Watt.
I'll go I'll go Glasgow because I like the old firm. I like Celtic.
This one is a tasty one. Napier versus Sterling.
That's a tasty one because I know how good Napier can be, but I also know a few people that used to play for Sterling.
Well, Sterling are sort of like they had a drop and now they're sort of making their way back, right? Like they're finding form again. They did last year. Napier had a stormer last year, so I'm gonna back Napier here.
I'm gonna go.
I feel like that will go either way.
Love Steve, Kwame. I'll be seeing you. Oh, he's off. See you later, everyone. I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Sterling on this one.
Okay, cool. And then the Mavericks, Edinburgh Mavericks versus the Aberdeen Bulls. Do you know what? I've never seen anything by way of consistency from the Bulls. Like stringing a load of wins together. This is their first game of the season. They got a long way to travel. I'm going to go for the Mavericks here.
Yeah, I would have gone Mavericks as well, but purely because they got the same name as East Kent and I know how good they are, so I'm assuming the Mavericks.
Oh yeah, it must be the same thing. Yeah.
I'm just taking the piss out at that point. Like, Mavericks, they must both be good.
Right, then we got the leagues are in a little bit of a funny order. I've got our web guy fixing them, just part of the things I asked them to fix. So sorry about the order we're doing this. So we move on to Northern, which is the Edge Hill Vikings versus MMU Eagles.
I'll go Eagles.
Will you?
I'll go
Yeah,
Eagles.
I will too. Yeah. I like the idea of
about these teams.
I'll go for the Eagles as well. And then you've got UClan. They're now called the is it Lancashire or Lancaster? I think it's Lancashire.
Lancashire, yeah, because it's Central Lancashire, isn't
it? So Lancashire Rams and the Manchester Tyrants.
I'll go Rams.
Yeah, I'll go Rams too.
I'll probably get a couple of DMs.
Don't worry, people have to watch it for their big DMs. Right, then we've got Southern 1, Oxford Lancers versus Birmingham Lions.
That's a fun game. That is a fun game.
It's a good one, isn't it? It's a really good one.
I'm sorry, Satnav. I'm going to have to go Birmingham Lions.
Okay, I'll go for the Lancers then.
So I'll have to go Lions just because I don't know. There's always that one year. I've always been saying, I feel like I always hear of Oxford losing players. Like, this guy's in his final year, this guy's in his final year. And I don't know who they're going to recruit and who's going to step up.
Yeah.
So for this game, I'm going to say Birmingham. But if Oxford shock me, I'll probably pick them for the rest of the season.
And then we got that Middle Eastern team, the UEA Pirates. Playing Oxford Brooks. And just remember Gary was watching. I don't know if he's still watching. But who are you backing on this? Do you know what, man? I'm sorry, Gary, but I've got to go Brooks, man. But they were a cheat code last year, and I can't see it slowing down this season.
Brooks were dangerous last year.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad for them that they're in this division because I would have. It's one of those ones. The other division is different, but this division here, I'm gonna go. I said Birmingham over Oxford Lancers.
Gary's still here. Sorry, Gary.
UEA at home to Brooks. I'll say UEA because they're at home.
Okay.
Because I feel like
it's a hell of a journey, as I said earlier.
I feel like they're going to be a similar one to last year. We played South Wales Warriors.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't play that game. I missed that game, the away game at least. But they won. I think they won all of their home games. I want to say they lost all their away games.
Gary, we'll be getting a strongly worded email from Gary, I think. Sorry, mate. At least Kwame back you. But sorry, yeah, go on, mate. Yeah.
But yeah, all the teams that are really far away tend to do much better at home.
Yeah.
Because everyone's like, nah, fuck that journey. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
Or they turn up to the game and they're just not ready, like physically, mentally, because it's such a long journey.
Yeah.
So I feel like they'll do well in their home games. I'll probably back them in their home games and back the other team in all their away games.
Okay.
Maybe apart from when, like, say, Hertfordshire goes there or something, if they're doing well this year, because it's not as far for them.
Yeah, I think they're set for a good year, Hertfordshire.
Yeah, but it's going to be interesting because you've got UEA, who are all the way down there, and then Birmingham, who are all the way up there. You know, and then the other guys that are
all clustered over this way.
clustered,
Yeah, right. Hallam versus Derby.
I'll go Hallam.
I'll go Derby.
Okay.
Leicester versus Sheffield.
Anyone's guess for me, I can't lie. Leicester.
Okay. Oh. I'll go Leicester as well. Gary's just explained that UEA have 3 games of 3 hours of travel, 2 in Oxford and Birmingham. Yeah, mental.
I think they'll lose at least 2.
What are you complaining about, Gary? I thought it was okay to travel that far. It's different when it's me, isn't it? Right, Southeastern 1. Kingston Cougars. Jesus Christ. Kingston Cougars and Kent Falcons. Oh, that's a lovely game.
That's an interesting one.
I know.
I'm gonna go with Kent because I think they've been all right in the playoffs the last few years.
Yeah, they were good, man. I'll go Kingston, but I feel like that one's a toss of a coin. You know, at this point where we don't know about the records of any team or anything, I just think that's a closely matched game, but we'll see. Barracuda and Bournemouth Uni.
Bournemouth.
Yeah,
comfortably.
Minus 7-point Bournemouth. I saw someone mentioning that they'll win 40-0 and still be 5 points behind them in the league.
Yeah, what was that thing all about? Because I had no idea. Like, there was a part of me that was like, "Are they being serious?" And I was like,
I contacted Coach Rains about it. And he just they're having to be very careful about what they say. But essentially, I don't know. He didn't like tell me anything new, but just said, "Oh, the only thing he said that was new to me." He said, "Look, it was an admin error." He said that it was to do with a game last season, but the admin error wasn't considered so severe that they changed the result of the game. So it's something to do with the game, which I don't know what it was. So they've kept the result, but then they've said you need to take a points deduction this season, and they were happy to do that. So well, I don't know about happy, but they were like, you know, they took on
we'll do
it. It was something to do with like Bournemouth as like their uni, like their athletic department, rather than anyone, you know, of the players, coaches, or anyone that run, like any of the staff at the club, the football team, American football team. So yeah, that's all I know. All I know is really what's already out there. And I said to Coach Rains, like, the whole time that you or the, you know, because it's obviously the university that decide what goes out. I was like, the whole time that the university are vague, everyone's going to speculate and make up their own conclusion. And he was like, "Yeah, I know." And he said, "Look, you know, he wants to he's mindful of his own reputation as well. Like, you know, he wants to make sure that nothing negatively impacts him as a coach." But yeah, he said, like, that's the statement that's been agreed upon, and I was like, yeah, well, it's just all you're going to get now is people saying for a little while, you know, that Bournemouth did whatever they come up with, and playing an ineligible player seems to be the thing that people are sort of settling on. But I don't know. I just know that. So I said to Coach Rains, does that mean your season's a wash? -8 points. He said no. He said, but it means we've got to win everything to try to get a chance for getting to nip into the playoffs.
Oh, that's ridiculous. So they technically can't win the division, but they can finish like
3rd or
7th or 8th seed. So they
Yes.
just about sneak into the playoffs and then go up from there.
Yeah, it was. For the ironic thing is, I said to him, like, well, we were talking, and said, if you get the 8th seed, you play the 1st seed. If you beat the 1st seed, then you get home game advantage, home field advantage for the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
a bit ridiculous the way it's done, but I feel like You know.
I said to Coach Range, like, I think this galvanizes your team. Like, this is a bit of animosity to face, whatever that looks like, right? But it will just pull the team together. And actually, it doesn't change the way that you're going to play football. Your goals are still the same on the field. I still want to win every single game. I've now got this other thing. We've got this thing hanging over our head. We've got a handicap. We're starting with -7 points. Everyone hates us. We don't care type attitude. Mate, that you and I both know that, like, that's almost like a coach's wet dream, right? Like,
but isn't it? It's real interesting because it's like I'm actually sort of like speechless over it, you know. So they've fielded whatever it was that happens. They've now got deducted 7 points or whatever it is. They have to win every game. I guess your season is more or less the same, but I suppose now it's a case of if you lose one game, you're basically out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like, yeah, cool, you can lose one game, but you'll still be the number 2 seed.
They've lost their buffer, you know, like that's what's been taken away from them. That's the best way of looking at it. But that doesn't change the way that the way that they'll prepare for games, that their goals for the season. If you were on that team, and let's say you just joined them, you would have just joined a team thinking, right, I want to win everything with this team. Like we're a team of winners. We're an elite team. They're a performance sport at Bournemouth. They're one of the top 3 sports or whatever it is. Like they take it seriously there. So, it's not like they're now going to take it more seriously. Like
they already take it seriously.
They already take it seriously. The goals do not change. They may want to dominate, be a bit more dominating, now. Like, so if anything, it's got a positive outcome in terms of the season, I think, for the
I think do you know what? I think they might have a shot. I've sort of just kind of been working this out in my head. And I think they might have a shot at like maybe one of the middle seeds, potentially, because if it's 7 points, isn't it 2 points per win?
Yeah, so that means they can get 9 points.
Yeah, which is more or less the equivalent of slightly better than 4 and 4.
Yeah.
So if a team finishes 5 and 3, they will finish above Bournemouth regardless. Because Bournemouth, let's assume Bournemouth finishes 8 and 0. Another team finishes 5 and 3. Or let's say they finish 6 and 2. Someone finishes 6 and 2, they win a division.
Yeah.
The next team, if Bournemouth are 8 and 0 and someone is 6 and 2, that means the next team is going to be 4 and 4. They have to have been 4 and 4.
Yeah.
At that point, Bournemouth is the second best team in that division, meaning that they'll be somewhere between seeds 4 and 6. But if you're going to be 8 and 0 and come second in your division, that means you're going to have the 4th seed. So I think they still have a bit more of a buffer, because if the other team finishes 5 and 3, let's say 2 teams in their division split the games against each other, but both lose twice against Bournemouth. 2 of those teams will finish 5 and 3. They'll both be above Bournemouth, but Bournemouth will still be the 7th seed.
Yeah.
So I think there's still opportunities for them, if they drop a game, it then becomes sticky. But
yeah, that's it.
7 and 1.
They basically got to have a perfect season.
Yeah.
To get to playoffs, and where that lands is really not down to them. It's down to how the other teams perform.
It's down to the other teams, because I think if they drop a game, everyone else would have to be like 3 and 5 in a division, which then makes it so much trickier. So I think you're right about the whole, like, they can't drop a game, but I think they win every game. Like, realistically, they still have a very good chance to go up. They've got a favourable draw against someone else who didn't win the division, and I think the only other toughest teams in the whole Div 1 South you're looking at is probably Birmingham Lions, Bournemouth Bobcats, and maybe Hertfordshire Hurricanes, if they get their shit together.
Yeah,
I think off first impressions, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I think that makes sense, mate. Right, let's move on to the Northeastern 2. Sunderland and York.
I'll go Sunderland.
So I think York are the favourites here, but I'll go Sunderland. And then down to Midlands, Lincoln and Anglia Ruskin, or ARU.
I'll go Lincoln because I've never really heard anything about them, but we did play ARU once, like 4 or 5 years ago, and we put like 60 on them.
Yeah, they're a little bit better than back then, but yeah,
Because of that, I'll go Lincoln. But until
yeah, I'll
ARU
go
can prove
Lincoln,
themselves.
and I'll go Lincoln, and I'm not averse to going for Ruskin, but I feel like they have to sort of prove themselves out a little bit, get a couple of wins, and then win me over.
Yeah,
I'm sort of on the fence with them at the start of every season.
I
Southern
don't really
team,
know what happened to them, to be fair, because I didn't know about them, and then we played them, and then we put a big number on them, and then they forfeited the next game. They got relegated, but then after that, they moved up to the northern half because they
yeah,
were in the southern half originally, I think, and then that was it. Really, I just never heard. Well, they changed their name, didn't they? Because they used to be Rhinos, and then now they're Seas.
ARU Rhinos, yeah,
Yeah. So we
yeah,
played them when they were the Rhinos. So I imagine quite a lot has changed, but
yeah,
I've not really
yeah.
seen
There
or
has
heard
been a lot of
any
change there.
noise from them at all. Like nothing about them having like a program really put together or anything. So
Yeah,
until I see something like that, I'm not convinced. Which again is most of Div 2, which makes Div 2 a lot harder to predict. But
yeah, it is harder.
you know,
The next game up is the one I'm live streaming this weekend: Sussex versus Chichester.
I'll go Sussex
Yeah,
because Chichester won like their first game in like God knows how long last year.
I know,
And
but
yeah,
I'm
I
hoping
can't see it getting
they've
that
got
much
like a little
better.
bit of a turning point and start actually winning games. But yeah, I think Sussex have got this one. Holloway versus Reading.
Ooh, Holloway versus Reading.
Yeah.
Back my home team. Do I go Reading with this one? Yeah, I'll go Reading.
Oh, I'll go
I feel
Holloway.
like every time I see Reading go down to Div 2, they tend to do well,
Yeah.
bounce straight back up to Div 1, stay for about
They
a year
do.
or two, and then sort of they're in that phase where
Hey,
they're sort of
it's
just
the
figuring
same
out
with
like
the Berkshire senior team as well.
Renegades, yeah.
Yeah, the Renegades. They just go up and down. I'll
Yeah.
go Holloway for that one. Right, Southeast. Oh, this is a good one. Imperial versus QMBL.
Mm. See, this one's tough because obviously we played them both when they were Div 1. Queen Mary are always, to my memory, Queen Mary are always entertaining. No matter what the score is, they're going to bring the game. They'll bring variety. They'll run the ball, throw the ball, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, they're all different players to when I was there. So they could be trash right now, and I wouldn't know about it because I've not seen them. Same with Imperial. The difference of Imperial is that like you can't do something against them and have it work and then expect to do it again and again and again.
Right.
Because quite frankly, to get into Imperial, you have to be smart. You got to be one of the smartest people in the country to get into Imperial.
Yeah.
And if they're that smart playing football, they're gonna be able to adjust very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this is one of them games that could be really interesting. You know, if both teams are the same as my memory of them, then Queen Mary are gonna come out all guns blazing and have all these plays and all these schemes and everything. And Imperial are gonna be the team that adjusts better.
Right.
So I feel like this could be one of them really strategic games. Again, like, you know, since I was there, the players have all graduated and left. So the whole philosophies could have changed. But again, you still have to be smart to get into Imperial. I say the same thing about Oxford Lancers as well. You know, no matter what the score is or no matter how much better athletically you are than them, those are smart guys. And I guarantee they watch film and they understand it better than the average person because
Yeah.
you fucking go into Oxford for a reason, right?
Mm.
Um, so yeah, some of those top unis academically, I look at them and I'm like, well, you can't underestimate them.
Yeah.
And I always see it on the field as well. If they see something on the field, they'll notice it because they're smart guys, and it's not just book smart that they are. Like they're game smart as well.
Yeah.
So
So who are you
I'll
backing then?
go. I'll go. I'll go Imperial. I'll go Imperial. I think it'll be a tight game, but I think Imperial will turn it around towards the end.
Okay, I'll go Vipers. Right, last two. We've got the Swansea Titans and the Worcester Royals.
Uh, I'll go Swansea again. Lack of knowledge.
I've got to go Swansea because no, I've got to go. I am going Swansea because so they had a really rough season last season. They were a little bit toxic in terms of the way they were run, or just their behaviours in general. But they got brand new head coach in, really respected guy, and I think that's going to be a catalyst of positive change. And yeah, so I think I don't see Swansea Titans as a Div 2 uni. I see them as like Div 1 should be pushing Prem. So like I think
when they were in the Prem.
So I'd like to think of them as contenders for post-season football. So I think I'm backing them to win this one. Bullets 2s and the Gladiators.
Oh, that's an interesting one. Because the Bullets 2s are all right. They're not great. But I mean, considering like the guys that are recruited for the Bullets main team.
Yeah.
And when you consider like most teams will be able to recruit top players, this is why I sort of look at this with the Gold as well. If you've got two teams,
yeah,
you're bound to have some good players in that B team.
Yeah, of course.
Because that A team is going to be filled with American imports, GB players, just the top talent you can find in the country that can qualify for Uniball. And everyone else that goes there that isn't quite good enough to get into the top team, there'll be guys that are probably good enough to be backups on the top teams that want to get more game time. And they're like, nah, fuck it, I'll play for the 2s.
Yeah.
I feel like there'll be guys like that. So I feel like the Bullets might edge this one, but also I know Gloucestershire are apparently quite good as well.
Yeah, I'm backing Gloucestershire.
Got a really good setup and that.
Yeah.
I want to back Gloucestershire, but I wouldn't be surprised if Bullets pulled one out.
Well, you got to back someone. Who are you backing?
Can I go for a tie?
No.
What if it is a tie?
Well, then you guessed wrong because you would have guessed one of the teams to win.
What if I guess a tie and it is a tie? Because there's no overtime.
Well, you can't. The options are win for one team or win for the other team. There's no tie.
All right, let me flip a coin. Let me find a coin and I'll flip a coin. No, I've got one somewhere. I've got a coin. I've got a coin. It's in my bag somewhere. It's one of them old £1 coins. You know the old round ones before they got rid of them. Yeah, I got one of them coins. If it's heads, I'll go UE. If it's tails, I'll go Gloucester. Right? Just to prove it to you guys, this is old £1 coin. It's not in circulation anymore.
Are they not in circulation?
They're not in circulation anymore. No, they got the do you know the
rigid one with the two colours?
Yeah, because there's too many counterfeits of these ones apparently. What's that? Heads, tails, cool. It's landed on heads. What did I say? UE for heads, didn't I? Yeah, I guess I've got to back UE then.
Okay, cool.
I'll go UE.
Right. Stop that sharing. That's us done then. Unless you got anything else you wanted to cover off, say, do. Bruno.
So that's my team. Those are my guys. I always back them till the end of time, and I'm happy that they got the win.
Good. I'm glad you said that because it wasn't clear from earlier. But yeah, cool. All right, Kwams. Well, we'll call it a day here. Hopefully, I won't be back next week, and you will. Yeah, we'll see. We didn't write down any of these predictions, did we? We should probably start doing that.
Yeah, we should probably start writing them down. To be fair.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. Well, I'm not posting them though. Like people can just watch the show to find them out because posting predictions when you're going through a boycott cancellation culture thing, it's just a recipe for disaster. So we'll pick it up next year. Anyway, all right, Kwams. Cheers for joining me.
7 viewers.
Yeah.
You guys are the real ones.
Yeah. Everyone that works at Full Tank. Yeah. All right, cool.